Hi, and welcome to A View from the Bed. This is a CHI St. Vincent podcast where we talk to real patients about their healthcare perspective. We know that your healthcare journey can be scary, so that's why we want to get their view on the good, the bad, and the ugly from diagnosis to recovery. Enjoy today's episode. Hey guys, welcome back to this month's podcast. I am so excited because today is our first follow-up episode. And I don't know if anybody remembers way back when we first talked to Shelley. She had went through her breast cancer journey and she was beginning the road to her breast reconstruction journey. And so we want to touch base with her today. So welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back, Shelley. You look great.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I feel great.
You have new glasses. You're doing something different with your hair.
Yes.
I mean, you're just looking phenomenal.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, last time we talked to you, when we ended the podcast, you had just started being able to get saline injected into your pockets for breast reconstruction. And so tell us a little bit about what's been going on since then and how that journey's been going.
It's been a journey.
Yeah.
But it's been a good process. So It took several weeks, months actually, for the extenders to be filled. But after we got those filled, it took about maybe a month of having those for the skin to be okay for us being set and different things before we could switch out for the actual implants.
Okay.
So that process went smoothly.
Oh, nice.
So I'm pleased with the outcome. It's different.
Yes.
But a good difference.
Well, good.
So I'm glad to have kind of gotten over that hump of things.
Okay.
So
let's talk a little bit. So, they put these, for the lack of a better term, kind of empty shells underneath the skin after you had your double mastectomy. And then they slowly have to put saline in them to stretch out the skin on your chest again.
Yes.
And so what did that feel like?
To be honest, buddy, I didn't feel it.
Okay.
And only because once you have a bilateral mastectomy, you don't have feeling. Because there's some nerve damage and just different changes in the breast. So where they had to actually insert, and it's just a needle, not a big needle, just to be able to get to the pocket little opening for it to feel.
Okay.
So it wasn't something big or scary.
Okay.
So it wasn't that.
Yeah.
But because of some nerve damage, I didn't really feel those injections. But I would imagine even if I could, it wouldn't hurt that bad. It's a prick,
Okay,
So,
a little prick.
Yeah. So nothing I feel like is major or scary.
Well, that's nice.
About the process.
How did it feel? Because last time we talked about the emotional side of the journey where you were making the decision, you did want to do breast reconstruction. And when you start to see, you go from being flat to you start to see your skin kind of puff up and what it will look like, when you get your breast implants put in. How does that feel? Like, did you get super giddy or excited or,
I did toward the ending feels.
Okay. Okay.
In the beginning, I was like, these look like rocks. And they felt like rocks, to be honest, because there's no softness to it, because it's just a plastic bag kind of just getting filled. But it was a mix of emotions, to be honest. I was excited to be at the process because it took about a month and a half before starting the process to feel. And then once, it started puffing up, I was like, going to have breast again. You're going to have breast again. So I got really excited toward the end because I can actually see.
Okay.
I wasn't as flat. So I could see
what it might look like.
Yes. So it was interesting sensation, but emotionally, it was good. I needed to see in increments to help me to get ready for what was to come.
The next step.
And envisioning what it would look like.
Okay.
So,
And we talked a little bit too about, you kind of go through your options with reconstruction on, what size you were, but what size you would like to be, since you have more control over that than just nature.
Yes.
And remind us, what size did you want to go with?
Well, I wanted to do a full C, which is what I was before.
Okay.
So that I would still feel or look balanced.
Sure.
So, and it's worked out perfect. I was able to achieve that. So
okay, good.
I had one other surgery just for some fillers.
Okay.
Because of just the way everything was sitting, but it worked out perfect too.
Oh, wow.
So absolutely, it's a great fit.
Yeah.
So, not like nature, but hey, pretty close.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, they might be a little bit lighter maybe than nature,
not really.
Not really. It's about the
same. Not, and only because of breast density tissue is different versus just saline or, the silicone. So they feel a little heavier, but it's a hard comparison, Bunny, because you go such a while without having anything. Yeah. And then to feel them, it's hard for me to remember the weight of the naturals.
Before.
Yes. Yeah. So I could tell the difference, but still a great difference.
Yeah.
So compared to nothing. So.
Well, tell us a little bit about the implant process. And so it's the day of surgery. How long ago did you have your implants finally put in?
It's been almost a year since I've had the full process completed.
Okay.
So it's maybe maybe a year and a few months at this point. And from the time of having the extenders put in, the extenders were put in the day of surgery where I had the mastectomy.
Okay.
And it's just a wait. And every 2 weeks, I went back to the surgeon to do the fields.
Okay.
So, and it just took a lot of weeks because they go in really small increments just to give the skin a chance to do what it does.
Yeah.
So it was just a lengthier process because we wanted to make sure that there wouldn't be any tearing of the skin or the skin would be too thin or just all of the things that come with that. Yeah. So having to just make sure step by step. Yeah. We took our time. Our surgeon was really great with that. He was just like, so how do you feel? What do you think of this? Yeah. Is this where you want to stop? And I actually have the largest implant that they have.
Okay.
Because the way your body is actually made, your chest cavity and different things. So if you're really petite, you really don't want to be at the biggest size or implant that they carry.
Sure.
But for my body size and chest width, I got the ones that were actually the bigger ones.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's a good point that you bring up because I think it's important for viewers to know that unlike a traditional breast augmentation, when you're starting with breast tissue that you're keeping, your implant doesn't have to be as large as they're not filling the whole space, right?
Yes.
Whereas when you have a mastectomy or a double mastectomy, you have no breast tissue left. So your implant has to become the entire breast surface. Because I know I want to point that out because I know viewers are going to look at you and be like, you don't look like you would have the biggest implants, but it's not an augmentation where they're utilizing current breast tissue. You have no tissue. And I have to say, though, they look beautiful.
Thank you, Bunny. Well, and I mean, you're very correct. So when you're starting with absolutely ground zero, it looks different.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to go in and do a little bit of tissue, moving a little bit of fat and different things to come in to try to help fill those spaces. So that's an option that you have when you're in a situation like mine where you're starting from ground zero and needing to fill to make it look more rounded and not having flat spots and different things. So that is an option that's there.
More natural.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it definitely helps.
Oh, I bet.
Yes.
Now, I do have to say, where do they get the fat from?
Well, typically you can have grafts from your lower abdomen or you can have it from your back. So whichever.
Take a little love handle fat.
So
feel in.
And it was a smaller amount, but it really helped. It really helped.
I could see that, how it would just kind of fill in the area to make it look nice. And okay, I want to have to do a drum roll though, because I know all of our women watching are going to want to know this, whether or not you're undergoing, your own breast cancer journey or not. But so I'm going to do a little drum roll here before I ask the question.
All right.
Do you have to wear a bra?
Yes.
Oh,
I know, ladies. I know. But I could get away without.
Okay.
However,
you do have the biggest implant.
I know. So, because of who I am, I'm just gonna I'm gonna wear a undergarment. However, you do still have cuffage. I don't know if that's the right word. So just in making sure that I don't have any further scratching or just different things. I want to take care of my new girl.
That's it's like a protective shell.
Yes. So I try to make sure, because of just different things with heavy or bigger implants or different things, you still, with bigger breasts, you still undergo some of the weighting challenges of, posture and different things. So
holding those puppies up.
Mm-hmm. So I try to make sure that I just want to avoid any and all complications. I need them to last.
So I don't blame you. So I guess the big question is like wire or no wire?
No wire.
Praise Jesus.
Yeah, no wire.
I'll say though, the options now are so wonderful for no wire.
Yes.
That, if you have the implants, you don't quite need the same structure, as those of us that still are dealing with nature issues. But the no wire makes beautiful options now.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And then too, for those who were able to have skin sparing versus those who aren't. So still having that nipple coverage and just different things. So I unfortunately was not able to have skin sparing. Okay. So I don't have to worry about that either.
Hey, there you go.
But there are all kind of options, even with 3D tattooing, just all kind of stuff. It's really neat. It's really neat.
Are you going to pursue the 3D tattooing?
I'm kind of on the fence. Yeah. Honest, but I am very interested in it. It's about finding the right artist, I think.
Oh, that's true.
That, and I've researched a couple, but you have to wait a year or so after everything is done before you really go into that. Okay. So I'm just taking my time a little bit.
I don't blame you, because one, that's a very personal thing, right?
Yes, that's part of it.
Yes. Like, if people don't know what we're talking about, it's, the 3D nipple tattooing that you can get if you cannot salvage your nipples after a double mastectomy or a mastectomy. Because to Shelley's point, sometimes they can salvage them and then sometimes they cannot. And so the 3D tattooing allows for the look of a nipple without having an actual nipple. So Google 3D nipple tattooing. It is amazing. Yes. The results are so cool.
Yes.
What a time to have technology if you had to have any kind of bodily tattooing that involves making your body look the way it did pre-surgery.
Yes.
It's so cool.
It's amazing. It looks amazing.
When you watch some of them, you can't tell the difference.
Yes.
You're just like,
that looks like there's protrusion there. So.
It is so neat. And I do have to ask this question too. So we're getting real personal on this podcast today, but that's okay.
Yes.
People need to know. We all need to know this.
Absolutely.
Is it weird when you look down and there's nothing there?
Yes.
Like, how does that feel?
It's weird. I will say some days I'm just like, man, this was a tough journey. This was hard to deal with. But then the other side of that is I am cancer free.
That's right.
And I am grateful and I am thankful. Right. So, I now have the attitude that these are my survival scars.
That's right.
So I'm okay with them.
They're badges of honor.
Yes. So
that's right.
It's a little different, but I'm glad I have breast.
That's right.
So I'm very attached.
Yes.
So I really... It looks different, feels different, but it's great.
It's a great difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because thinking about those days and pictures and different things from when I first had surgery and taking those bandages off for the first time was just like, oh my God, what has happened?
Yeah.
To now, I'm just like, hey, so, new lease on life. So for that, I'm grateful. So,
well, okay. So we're going to get a little more personal too. Remind me, are you married?
I am not.
Okay. I don't know if you date or not.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, we can edit this part out. But have you noticed a difference in your dating life on explaining your journey, or if you get to that point to where they'll see at some point you don't have nipples, to be honest, like how has that maybe changed your approach to dating?
It has. It has definitely done that because it's something that you do think about because your body does look different.
Sure.
From just its natural state. But most people that I talk to, is something that I'm very open about the journey because I believe in being proactive, and telling people, hey, I've gone through this.
Yeah.
This is something that, has changed me completely and my body looks different.
Yeah.
I really don't say how,
Okay.
but, and it's not a conversation that I have with someone until this, way down the line kind of, but it's one that they know. I participate in a lot of breast cancer awareness summits and conversations and panels and just different things. So I talk about it. So if you know me, you've known that I've gone through breast cancer.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. It's just like, so I answer questions. I'm open about it.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to be weird. I try not to make it weird.
Yeah, don't make it weird. It's I think as a society, we really should normalize our body scars.
Yes.
Because the reality is that, unless you're in Hollywood or, live in a Hollywood world, we have body scars.
Yes.
Whether we have kids or a double mastectomy or just a back surgery or anything, that's part of who we are. And it really imprints the fabric of really our souls and our spirits on who we are as a human. And I think that's such a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
And honestly, it's like, take it or leave it.
Yeah. And I think that's my thing is, and what's funny is when I talk about it, it's like most men, not to say anything bad about men, guys, they could care less. So, just in conversations and topics in different, groups and having discussions on how to support your loved one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I asked the question, is this something that freaks you out that your wife or your mother or just anyone is going through this, and their body changes? And if you're a caretaker or just does that weird, they're like, no, I couldn't care less. I love my wife just as much, or I love my girlfriend just as much. It's not that big of a deal. So I would say, ladies, don't worry. Don't worry about that. It's not as important as you think.
Yeah.
Especially when a person cares about you.
Well, and I think that's an amazing point, Shelley, that you bring up too, because going back to when you initially find out the news, and your story was so amazing, go back and watch Shelley's full story from last year, because just with your family history, and I remember you talking to your sister and telling her your news, and then talking to your mom who also had went through the journey. Just so amazing. But there could be a fear if you get a news on, oh my gosh, I've got to tell my fiance, or I have to tell my husband, or I have to tell my boyfriend, or whoever your significant other or partner is, like, I have to break this news to them that my body is going to change.
Absolutely.
And it's okay. It's okay. Don't let that fear be the fear that worries you.
Absolutely. And just mainly because people that love you.
That's right.
I think the biggest issue is that they want to know how they can support you.
Yeah. Not
worried about your body changes. It is scary, but they are more afraid of losing you than the changes that you will look like afterwards. So whether it's breast reconstruction or whether it's hair loss because you've had to go through chemo or just any of those different changes, I think that they are more worried about you being here. than those other things. You can get past some stuff, You
can get past some stuff.
Absolutely. Even if you decide not to do reconstruction,
that's right.
They're not going to be, No. And if they do leave, guess what? It's okay. That's probably a good thing. You probably got spared some heartache.
That's right. It's okay.
Absolutely.
And, I heard someone say one time, and it's so true, that it's okay if people in our life do not come with us on the journey.
Yes.
It's okay. And sometimes that's where you build your closest bonds, is by those that stick with you through these journeys.
Yeah. And then too, everyone is not emotionally equipped to handle that journey and that process.
Yeah.
So it's better that they actually remove themselves.
Sure.
Because you have enough to worry about.
You do.
So sometimes we have to that hurts. But, some people just are not equipped to handle that. And that's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. And it's better that you know that now.
Yes.
Than to find it out later in a whole different circumstance.
100%. And, Shelley, one of the things too, your story has definitely taught us and taught our viewers is so many times we focus on the cancer-free part of the journey that we forget that the emotional journey and the physical journey continues way past the cancer-free. I mean, the cancer-free is definitely the end goal, right?
Yes.
But you still have a life to live. And so that's why bringing you back and seeing where you're at in your journey has been so special, is because while you've been cancer-free, you've still had to go through the continuation. It didn't stop.
Yes.
And that's just what's so beautiful. And honestly, it turned out so natural. If you never would have said, or I knew your story, I would never have known that your breasts were not your natural breast. I mean, they just fit you so well.
Yes.
And they're just
grateful
beautiful.
For that. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, and it's a emotional piece. Anytime there's a change in your body, period, and it's an amputation. I tell people, when someone loses an arm, it's a whole emotional journey. Yeah. You lose a leg, you lose anything. Something happened, you get a scar, or just a really bad accident where you may have been burned or anything. It's emotional. It's a change. So, but embrace, I tell people all the time, take advantage of your local resources with your support groups. Different things, Take pictures. And I take pictures and I share with people who are newly diagnosed going through it. And I share my photos with the process of the journey. Say, this is what it looked like right after surgery. This is what it looked like at field 7. Yeah. This is what, this is where I am now. And it helps to know you're not alone. So definitely finding those connections is important, It
is. And to your earlier point too, of if you go through treatment and lose hair, just talking to people that have been there makes all the difference, because your loved ones can support you, but if they haven't experienced it, it's very hard to connect on the same level, or for them to give you tips on, hey, here's some things I did that helped alleviate, wig discomfort, or, whatever it is. Maybe they just embrace big earrings, who knows? But
headbands. Who knows? Yeah.
But, it's just finding individuals that have been there that can, to your point, kind of walk you through, hold your hand on a different level and say, be okay. I've been there. It's okay.
And then you can't argue when someone says I've been there and they really have. So it's one of those that, hey, this is tough.
Yeah.
I know you don't like the way this looks right now. This is hard, but this is a new normal, and it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's right.
Because beauty is way deeper than just breasts, but I get it, and it will be okay. You go through a process, whether you choose to do reconstruction or not. It will be okay.
It will be.
Yes.
And I think the important thing you said too is you have to find what works for you.
Yes.
Because last year we also talked to a woman who, she went the opposite route. She chose not to do reconstruction, and for her reasons on why, her body was tired and she made a decision. She just could not continue a reconstruction journey. And resources that she found on bathing suits and just little things you don't expect, which, by the way, Land's End has a whole line of mastectomy bathing suits. And so, just tips like that.
Absolutely.
But
go on a new journey.
What was your number one tip for women who are making the decision, reconstruction or no reconstruction, from your point of view on choosing the reconstruction journey?
It's really kind of hard because I toddle back and forth a lot. And I would say, taking a moment to see what really means the most to you. If this is something that, if breasts are not a big deal to you, you're tired of them, it's hot, I don't know, but, if it's not a big deal for you, that's a determining factor, but especially if it is a big deal for you, because it is a lengthier process than just deciding not to do it. So it's a lot of different surgeries, different things that has to happen. So I think that played into my decision, but me wanting to still feel like I used to was my big determining factor. And I think that's what you just have to really ask yourself is, how important is it for you to kind of get back to where you were beforehand? And then how you feel about how you look impacts everything. So I personally, with an all sharing, which you viewers can see, my stomach was too big to not have breasts. So I wanted to absolutely have some balance, so and I didn't want to worry about prosthetics. I think that there was more worry that would have just been a little bit more for me than I wanted to deal with. So that helped me to make those decisions. But, loving or being able to love yourself for where you are. And one of the beautiful parts is that it's never too late. Even if you decide to do no reconstruction today, you can come back and have reconstruction later.
That's a beautiful point, is if you're not ready to make a decision, just wait. And make a decision when you're at a place that can make a decision. And that's okay too.
Yes. There are people who have their implants removed all the time. So if you decide after doing reconstruction, this is not what I thought it was, or they're heavy. Or just for whatever reason. You can always have them removed. So don't feel like it's a concrete decision because it's not. There's always, technology is amazing.
It is amazing.
So whatever you decide, be okay with it within yourself. Make the decision for yourself, not the pressure of others.
I think that's such a great point. And, I'm glad that you shared too about body composition, because there are some of us that are shaped in such a way that if we don't have the top balance, we will look disproportionate. Try to say that very nicely. But, and so having that balance for comfort and just how you look overall is important. And I think that's a beautiful point to make. Well, Shelley, you're still so inspiring and you look beautiful. But more importantly, I can tell you feel beautiful.
Yes.
You're healthy.
Yes.
But it radiates from inside out.
I tell you, Money, I'm grateful. I'm excited. Because life was different a year and a half ago, and I'm just grateful. And I'm glad that it radiates because I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be able to share my journey because I know I didn't go through this just for me. That's one of the reasons why I like to talk to people about it, because I went through it and I'm here. And somebody else is going to go through it and they got to know that they will be here too and they can share their story.
That's right. So, no, I think that's beautiful. We just pass it on.
Absolutely.
And that's what this podcast is all about, guys, is we share people's journeys so we can pass it on. And so you can be informed, but be inspired, make better healthcare decisions, just like Shelley was able to make her decisions and has continued to go through the journey. So this won't be the last time. We'll bring you back in probably about another year and check in with you as well. Because again, I think it's important for people to understand this is a journey.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just stop when the cancer-free is there, even though that's the end goal. And as always, if you have not had your mammogram and it is time, go, go, go. Call your doctor, get that mammogram scheduled. I'll be real honest. I had my first mammogram a few months ago, and whoever says they're not uncomfortable are liars. You know what? It lasts a second.
Yeah.
It lasts a second.
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of weird because they like lift your boob up and like manhandle them like melons, but it's fine. You'll live through it. But most importantly, the 3D imaging now really gives them a look into what's going on. And then if you have ultrasounds or other things that follow up, our breast centers do an amazing job.
Yes.
So if you have not had your mammogram and you're of age, please make a promise to yourself, make a promise to your family to go get that done. Because as we've learned, family history is not always a determining factor. There are lots of women who are diagnosed every day that do not have a family history. So if you don't have a family history, don't put it off just because of that. Go get it checked out. Well, Shelley, you're always a pleasure, a beautiful pleasure.
Thank you.
Viewers, I hope you've learned something today in your own journey. Next month, who knows who we're talking to? Not sure yet, but what I do know is that it will help you make more informed decisions about your own health care. And we always say every single episode, if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. So go talk to your doctor. Until next time, guys. Thanks for joining us for today's episode of A View from the Bed, A Patient's Perspective. We hope that you found it helpful. We hope that it helped you make your healthcare decisions. We hope that it made you feel a little more comfortable with your own journey. And we hope that you'll join us next time.